Well, good evening, chat. It's another little secret weather stream. Oh boy, everybody loves those. Who doesn't like a bit of forecast to tell you what's waiting out there on the roads? Which I'm sure is going to be pure misery, as it is always during this time of season, but what can you do? Aside from pray to God that a meteor hits us and thaws out all the shitty weather that's making people drive like fucking morons on the road. I might be hoping for too much. What are you going to do? You like the little collage in the background? It's a bit of a motif going on. I was thinking about this today. I put a new video up on BitChute talking about Virginia and the gun grabbing. If you're interested, you can go check it out. But made made little Jimmy a little depressed. Got me a little black-pilled as I started thinking about all the things that are just out there making shit miserable. From forcing people to work in cages at Amazon. The fact that somebody could actually make this diagram, that you would have a human soul inhabiting your body and you would draw this diagram to put some menial laborer in who's just trying to make $8 an hour so he can feed himself and live in a box under an underpass. And you hate him so much, you want to put him into a fucking metal crate. Do you have to hit a little button to take a pee? You need to get permission. Is that what the little door at the very top is? Like you have to ask your boss to hand you the key through the little portcullis there, so you can unlock the fucking wagey cagey to go take a tinkle. That's what's waiting for us in the future, either to be replaced by automation and robotics, or to be some kind of fucking cyborg box boy inside a wagey cagey working in an Amazon warehouse because it'll be the only company left. I think what is Bezos worth $30 kajillion at this point? If Bezos and Bill Gates were to get into a money fight, Bezos would win merely because he would drown Bill in the amount of money he has. He would deprive him of oxygen. There would be no way to survive. Of course, once you finish up your hard day of wagey cagey work at the Amazon warehouse, you get to go to your fucking concrete pod. I like that sales pitch. I like how they tried to very subtly bring people around to it. It started with that Little House shit. You remember Little Houses? Oh, oh my god, bro. Little Houses are like the future, man. Like, fuck the government. We're gonna be off the grid. It's a little house, dude. It doesn't cost any money at all. Except now little houses cost like 100,000. Their little houses cost what real houses cost. But they wanted to get you used to the idea of being in a confined space and thinking that was great. So what's the next step? A fucking concrete tube. Get in your fucking pod. Can you see the picture? Dead center on the top? That little itty bitty pod with the one light? That's the only light you get. And that's just so you can illuminate the tears streaming down your face as the realization that this is your future hits you each and every night as you get those 3 hours of sleep before you have to go back to Amazon and sit in the fucking cage. But don't worry, you'll be well fed in our brilliant, beautiful, utopic future, because you're going to eat cockroaches and crickets and mealworms and tarantulas, meat and chicken, pork, all of it, poultry. That's reserved for the good people. Only the Gretas of the world can eat that. You get to eat bugs. Now, it's kind of a terrifying thought if you think about it. Confined in your fucking concrete sarcophagus, because that's what it is, with only one single light and millions of cockroaches, which are technically your lunch, skittering about in the darkness. Just imagine that. Imagine going to sleep, knowing you have to go work in a cage the next day, with barely any light in the concrete tube you inhabit, and you hear the skittering sounds, the itty-bitty skittering sounds of your lunch crawling all over you. And you want to scream, but nobody can hear it because that concrete is fucking thick, and they don't want to scare the other wagies that are all sleeping around you. But fear not, intrepid explorer of our future, because new advances in technology have made sure that you won't go mute screaming yourself senseless. We now have robotic medication Oh, the sales pitch on this is brilliant. It's actually a very good idea, really. It's a robotic pill that reacts to insulin levels. That's how it's originally pitched. So, oh, you need it at a certain time of day, boom, releases what you need. Sounds great, doesn't it? Until the pharmaceutical company decides, hey, wait a minute. If we could put a bunch of little robotic pills in people's stomachs, then we could put any kind of chemical we want into them. Antidepressants, anti-anxiety, get uppity at work, get uppity in the streets. Little robot goes poop, and now all of a sudden you've just been dosed with Thorazine. And everything's A-OK. That's what your breakfast is going to consist of. Cockroaches, mealworms, and Thorazine robot pills. You're not going to have the will to fight back. In fact, if you try to make yourself vomit, they won't come up. They're going to anchor themselves in your intestine. And if you try to poop them out, maybe you go get 80 fucking cases of vanilla extract trying to give yourself diarrhea. Well, bad news for you. According to the BBC, people that work for the devil, I don't know what company comes up with these formulas, but they must work for Satan. They've developed a new toilet seat, a sloping seat to reduce time on the toilet. What do you know? A 13-degree angle makes it much more uncomfortable, leading to the inability to sit on the toilet for more than 5 or 6 minutes. So the one respite you have during the day of working in your fucking cage at Amazon, of hating everything about life around you, that one momentary break where you can just sit on a toilet and shit in peace, and maybe browse your phone and look at anime and imagine that maybe Truck-kun will bless you by bringing you to another world with an accident? That's limited to 5 minutes now. They've literally found a way to make you ass hurt. It's a new corporate policy. How can we make our employees butt hurt? I know. Stick them full of robotic Thorazine pills and slope their toilets so they scream. What nightmare is this? If I traveled back in time, just even 20 years, and I went into a Hollywood studio and said, I have a fucking perfect pitch for a dystopian sci-fi future where people work in cages, live in concrete pods, have robotic Thorazine pills, slope toilets, and they eat bugs. They'd have thrown me out of the fucking office because they would have said, hey, even though this is sci-fi, this is far too unrealistic for us to accept. But that's where we are right now. It just adds on top of each other. It's like a layered cake of shit at the world's worst birthday party. Nobody wants to blow out the candles because it smells like poop. But they just keep layering it on top, one after the other. How can we make it worse? What can we make you do to hate your fucking life? Oh, do you want to invest in cryptocurrency? Do you think you have the outside chance of beating the fiat currency system? The big goddamn banks and the big goddamn corporations, the Soroses and the governments like China, you think you have a chance of beating them? They're going to fuck you into the dirt. Because every time you think your cryptocurrency is going to have a chance, here comes the government to shit down your throat. Oh, were you enjoying moving money around from one wallet to the next, doing trades, buying and selling? We're going to tax all of it. Fuck you. Oh, was cryptocurrency doing well? Here comes China to say don't invest in it. Oh, was cryptocurrency doing well? My name is Mark Zuckerberg, and I am the fucking Antichrist. Come to kill your dream. Here's Libra, and we're going to corporatize it. And all the dumb fucks that don't understand how cryptocurrency works, they're going to think this is what it should be. They're going to stick to it, and we're just going to fucking throw you out of the market. Can we get a break? Is there a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel? Is there a little bit of hope out there? Can God just swirl his fingertips and part the clouds and give us a sign that it won't be the darkest days of humanity that we're walking into, because it sure feels like it. It feels like we've been set up. We've been bamboozled. Everything's gone insane. Reports coming out that plastic bottles and plastic products contain 44 times the level that was deemed safe by the FDA of gender-bending fucking chemicals and cancer-causing agents. Meaning that if you've been drinking Coke or Pepsi or Sprite or whatever the fuck from a plastic bottle, bottled water even, there's a chance you're going to be wearing a dress in 10 years. Or you're going to go batshit insane. Oh, don't think the ladies are safe either. While all the boys are being made into girls, the ladies in their birth control is going to shrink their fucking, the hypothalamus by 6%? parts of the brain that really are dedicated to pair bonding and family building and the sense of love and commitment. They're fucking cooking our brains and breaking our wills, sending us into this nightmare hellscape, and I don't know why. I'm not sure what the end game is here. Maybe George Soros or somebody like him is really just a misanthrope. Maybe it's not that they want to take the world over. Maybe they just fucking hate people. Maybe they're the edgiest emo fucker that ever existed and we just never realized it. And their whole goal, their joke, their troll is to drive the world into a collective suicide. Because it feels like that's what's being set up at the moment. Everybody's become a lunatic. I mean, it's brilliant, really, when you pick it apart, when you look at the detail and the effort that's gone into it. Introducing chemicals that fuck with people's heads, but not telling them how it fucks with them until it's far too late. Raising generations on the idea that they should be egocentric and narcissistic, creating technologies to feed into that. Giving them social media and making them addicted to it. Taking away their ability to find prosperity through work, to afford a house, to make it in the world. Telling them ridiculous shit like they need to eat bugs and take their pills and live in their pods and sit on a potty that makes them slide off like it's a fucking a water slide, like they've gone to Wet and Wild World. Just all layered on top of each other, all waiting to drive you mentally crazy. How's that for a black pill? How do you like that? How do you escape from that? I'm not even so much mad that it's happening. I just want to know who. I know everybody's got their pet conspiracy theory about who would be behind something like this, and I'm sure I can see in chat already there are a bunch of J's being typed right now as they're finishing out the rest. But I just want to meet the man. The singular entity out there, the shot caller, the big guy. I want to meet him and just know why. I won't even stop you. I couldn't if I wanted to. But could you just tell me why? What is your grand Machiavellian plan? You're driving the world literally insane. And there has to be a purpose behind it. There must be a master stroke of genius behind it. This is like the Watchmen. What is that guy's name? Osmodeus? Right? What's your fucking plan, buddy? It's already executed, so you can tell us now the giant telepathic alien squid has already wiped out New York. Alright, that's the point we're at. So you might as well just be like, fuck it. YOLO, here's why I did it. And none of you can stop it. Just a little clarification. Just a little clarification as I sit here looking deeply into the vortex that is my future. Our collective futures. I don't know where things are going, but it's a dark fucking abyss. It's in a dark, dark abyss. Maybe one day aliens will land on Earth, and they'll excavate all our bullshit. And even they'll be puzzled by what the fuck happened. Maybe Zorkbork from planet Bjarg is going to wonder why they made people work in cages. Maybe they're going to puzzle over the fact that with so many abundant natural resources, people lived in concrete tubes. Why would these humans? Why would they eat bugs? What would compel them to eat bugs? Quick, get Commander Quark over here. You've got to see this. They've been drinking out of plastic bottles that make them gay. Why would they do that? We can see from the historical archives that they were talking about worries about the birth replacement rate. So what on earth would compel them to turn themselves into trannies and become gay? But they're all drinking from these bottles. It doesn't make any sense. It'll be a Blue's Clues mystery for our alien brothers, as we're all fucking corpses laying around. Obese corpses, probably tipped out of our rascal scooters. The last, I would say the last stand, but it's really the last sit of the Shart in the Marts. All our batteries died out, and we couldn't use our little grabber arms to reach towards the future, and we all just withered away. It took a while. 500 pounds is a long time to starve to death. It took a while, but we got there. After a century or two, we just didn't have the will to go on. But maybe those aliens, those hyper intelligent beings out there in the ether, can figure out what in the fuck happened on planet Earth. Maybe it'll be a comedy. Maybe they have a sense of humor in an entertainment industry we're unaware of. And this is going to be like the top of the... it's going to be the Dude, Where's My Car of the galactic arm. Introducing the story of humans. A quirky little species that self-destructed, and we don't know why. Ah, that's cathartic. Get that out every once in a while. Got to look on the bright side of things. I mean, they're out there. The bright side is out there. But that tumbling abyss that I'm looking at right now, whew, it's a lot to take in. Hopefully I haven't hopefully I haven't depressed you too much, chat. What are we going to do? I don't want to eat the bugs. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I can deal with a lot of things, but I really don't want to eat bugs. Now maybe I'll go for that Japanese toilet meat that some fucking crazy Japanese dude is coming up with. I mean, it's a shit burger, but at least it's not a beetle. Or maybe that vat-grown meat's going to become a reality and I can eat that instead. Who knows? All that genetic shit, all that genetic tinkering. Who knows what kind of meat products are going to wait for us in the future? Combined a ribeye with a pork cut and some lamb and chicken. Make something that just tastes fucking ridiculous. And then overcharge us for it because we can't afford it. We work in cages and live in pods. Wouldn't that be a bitch? Come out with a vat-grown meat that tastes delicious, but you can't afford it because your $2 an hour fucking wagey-cagey job at Amazon won't let you afford it. You know when the shit's really going to hit the fan? Well, not hit the fan, but when you're really going to know it's bad is when you go buy a vending machine and instead of seeing, I don't know, potato chips and cookies or even apples and juice, it's full of cockroaches and mealworms and centipedes and other various insects. Could you imagine that potentially someday, 30 years from now, you could walk by a vending machine and it'll say insert $2 to get a cockroach to eat? I bet they're going to do it. In fact, that's a business opportunity. I mean, this is chock full of despair, but let's be realist about this. Let's make some money off these idiots. I mean, they're going to burn the world anyway. So if they're so interested in eating bugs, let's make bug vending machines for these dumb fucks and install it at every lib shit university around the country. Oh my god, I have the perfect sales pitch for this. Oh, don't eat meat. That's terrible. Don't eat plants. Oh, if being a vegan's not good enough, we need to save Mother Earth. The Earth is on fire. The Earth is on fire. You need to eat crickets. So use my cricket vending machine that I've conveniently installed at 800 locations around Berkeley University. I bet I could get these liberal idiots to eat bugs. I bet they would thank me for it and pay me for it. That's it. I've got to just that's a silver lining. That's what I'm forgetting. You give into the black pill, the darkness too long, you forget. You got to give these people what they want. You got to cram it down their fucking throat. And you got to make a nickel doing it. I'm going to create bug vending machines, and I'm going to sell it to dumb fucking libshits. And I'm going to make them literally put their money where their mouth is. Or in this case, a moth where their mouth is. Now, what name should I come up with for my bug vending machine that I'm going to be installing at all these liberal universities? It needs something catchy. It needs some pep in its step. I'm not sure exactly what I'll call it. Chat, do you have any suggestions for our bug vending machines? I'll wait for you to catch up. I know there's a bit of a delay. We need a good branding here. We need something that's really going to zazz them. Oh my god, I'm going to call it Greta Grub. Done. The name of the company is Greta Grub Insect Vending Machines. It's perfect. It's perfect. In fact, here's how it's going to work. My Greta Grub Jimco insect vending machines will be installed at Berkeley University and every libshit university around the country. I'm going to charge $2 to $5 for cockroaches. And if you walk by the vending machine and you don't buy something, the vending machine is going to say, "How dare you?" I'm going to take the voice clip. I'm going to buy the voice rights to "How dare you," that clip from Greta, and the machine will chastise you for not eating bugs. I'm going to be a billionaire by the end of the year. They're totally going to go for it. Greta Grubbs. Come on down to the Jimco vending machine. We got crickets, we got mealworms, we got anything that can fill your fancy. Freshly grown produce from Mother Earth. Don't let the earth be on fire. Come on down to Greta Grub and grab yourself a tarantula. It's brilliant. Gold, that's right, chat. It's gold. How dare you? It's going to scream, "How dare you," if you get within a 10-foot radius and do not purchase an insect from the Greta Grub machine. How dare you? All joking aside, this would probably work. This would most definitely probably work, and they would probably buy it thinking it's a great thing to do. Or they would get really mad. So maybe in every Greta Grub insect vending machine, we need to put a camera so we could just film the reaction. So either we make a lot of money doing it, or they get really fucking angry and it's funny videos for Twitter and YouTube. I mean, it's a win-win either way. It's really just a vending machine with a bunch of bugs shoved in it. I can't imagine the cost would be too high. Just take a fucking shovel in your backyard and you've got half a fucking menu all ready to serve. Gotta find a way to make that profit. Gotta make that money. Gotta do what's gotta be done with the infamous Greta Grub. From Michael Judge, the new Xbox console design looks like garbage. Ken, and the name is fucking stupid. It makes Xbox One look good in comparison. You know, I'm glad you brought that up. Let me show you something. I saw the Xbox design for the Sexbox. Series X, let's be honest, they wanted it to be called the Sexbox because they didn't like X-Bone. Or maybe they're going with some kind of double entendre theme as they continue forward with their consoles. But I want to show you what their console reminds me of. It took me a while to find it because it's a bit outdated. It's not really a newer model you'll find out there. But Xbox stole the design for their new console, or their prototype of their new console, from Hitron. It literally looks like a modem router from a company that used to produce this about 4 years ago. Here's the product. Tell me if this does not look like the Sexbox to you. Let me just move this around a little bit. It's got plastic wrapping because somebody's trying to sell it on fucking eBay. There you go. That's the new Xbox. It's exactly the same. The only thing missing is the disc slot. They stole the whole design for the thing from a modem router from 5 to 6 years ago by some off-brand company called Hitron. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it. How far is the delay on this? Let me see. Okay, you can all see it. Brilliant. There we go. That is exactly what it reminds me of. But I knew somebody would eventually bring it up, so I wanted to have that ready to go. You know, I saw in the chat earlier, somebody had brought up a Polak making a video game. I believe they were referring to Epstein's Island. Fantastic game, by the way. Put a lot of work into it. It was actually really well done. I liked it. Did you know that at one time Jimmy was going to make a game? I'd like to show you this brilliant concept art called Finders Keepers. Finders Keepers Satanic Panic Dungeon Crawler. Now hear me out. I have a brilliant plan on how this is going to work. You're an intrepid detective who finds an underground passageway located beneath a preschool where all the children have disappeared. Around every dark corridor, there's a glowing light. Does that light take you into a new safe area? Or are agents out there waiting to ambush you? You never know. I even had ideas for sub-bosses. like Styx Hexenhammer, who, when you encounter him in the Satanic Panic dungeons that are underneath the preschool, would keep yelling at you, "This isn't real Satanism. This isn't real Satanism. This isn't Satanism. This isn't what paganism is. This is not true. There's nothing happening here. There aren't any tunnels. This isn't Satanism." And the only way to defeat him is to clog your ears so you can run past him. Very interesting boss mechanic. I thought it was a brilliant idea. Never really went anywhere with it. However, our friend with Epstein's Island, he did. Completed his game and had it come out, and it was nice. It was good. That's right. Yeah, if you don't run away from Styx fast enough, all you hear are spoon clanks. And they get louder and louder as he catches up to you, yelling out from behind you, "This isn't real Satanism. This isn't real Satanism." You gotta duck and dive and choose the path you're gonna go to unlock the mystery of where those missing children are. In the labyrinthian underground complex below that preschool. If I could make games, I really would make something like that. I'll be honest with you. I think it would be fun. Now, I've been thinking about, because these aren't real streams. I mean, they're not pre-planned like the other streams I usually do, where I've got like a topic and a shit ton of clips and articles and things to bring up. It's more just shooting the shit. I'm energized. Like I said in the last few streams, it's like the opposite of sad. I've put up 2 videos, done a couple of streams already. Got plans on 2 more videos. One I'll talk about today on stream. I'd like to get some feedback. I think it would be good to get your input, chat, on what you think. Maybe help me define some parameters. And I've come to the conclusion that because the YouTube channel, I can't put up anything risky on it. That's just the reality of it. YouTube is a different place at this point. We can do streams and have fun, but if you want to put a video up, it's a gamble that your channel's just going to get immediately shut down. There's no point. So I'll use BitChute to put up the edgier stuff, the funnier stuff, like Transtastic Tales and the furry stuff and the one-offs talking about Virginia and that sort of thing. But for YouTube, my plan going forward is I'm going to weeb the fuck out. Oh, Jimmy's going to become Mr. Manga. That's right. I'm rededicating myself to weeb life, yo. All right, that's thug living up in here. Now, a lot of people on the last stream kept asking me, "What have you read? What have you watched? What's your opinion on this?" And I mean, that's so much shit to go through. I have no answers. So I went to some little website where I think you have to prove you're a virgin to be able to sign up. Somehow I snuck in my anime list, and I made my little profile. I'm going to show you some of my little profile. We're going to talk a little bit about manga. I'm going to tell you what my plan for the channel is, and then I'm going to go over the actual video that I wanted your help with. I know I can already see 8,000 fucking people saying Berserk. I can already see it. Chat, you're not fooling anybody. Hey, let me point this out. I'm going to spoil it. I don't give a fuck. Everybody's saying read Berserk. How am I supposed to read it and take it seriously after, what was it, The Heart of Evil, The Concept of Evil? Oh, let's put out a manga chapter that basically explains the whole fucking story, and then because we realize we fucked up, take it away and pretend it never happened. I can't go back to that. It ruined it for me. It's just, imagine if you watched, let's put this in anime context. Imagine if you watched Dragon Ball Z. And it's you're a couple arcs into it, and Vegeta and Goku they're out there doing what Vegeta and Goku do. And then for one episode, Vegeta and Goku have a hot, gay, passionate love affair. I mean, we're talking thank stock levels of butt fuckings going on. They're going Super Saiyan, monkey parts are getting used, tails are being used in heathenistic ways. Really raunchy shit. And then next week, a new episode comes out, and they never acknowledge it. Nobody ever talks about Goku and Vegeta fucking each other silly. It's like that episode never happened, it's never re-aired, it's never put in DVD collections or Blu-ray collections. It's just not talked about. Could you look at DBZ the same after that? That's the situation I have with Berserk. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. We're getting a little far off, a little far off. So I'll let you see what shit taste I have, since I'm sure you're all going to rail on me for having the wrong opinions about manga and video games. But at least it'll give you some idea. I've got a lot more to add to this shit, but we'll go through the list. Here it is, my anime list. Look at that beautiful thing. You can see the introduction, I think, is a fairly accurate and fair introduction. When I realized sex was overrated, I dedicated my life to anime and manga. I think I've made the right choice. Can a female compare to the beauty of Beyblade? Can her touch elicit the deep emotions of a card battle from Yu-Gi-Oh? I think the answer is obvious. So you tell me, chat, what are we going for first here? Do you want to see my shit taste in anime, or do you want to see my shit taste in manga? Which would you prefer to see first? From one weeaboo fuck to another, what would you prefer to see first? Oh, I'll tell you about the Evangeline rating and why that is what it is. But I know we've got to wait a few minutes to get shit going here. Okay, now I'm seeing shit coming up from chat. Oh, it's we'll do anime. Anime's easier. We'll start with anime. And you know what? I'll do it by rating. I'll do it by rating. All right, here we go. Hopefully this shows up properly. Let me double check. Okay, it should be good. And I still have to go through a ton. There are 8,000 fucking Gundam series out there, and I've got to rate all of those. But let's begin. Top of my list, Cowboy Bebop. I love that fucking show. How could you not like Cowboy Bebop? Followed closely by Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Now there's Illusions of Grimgar. They've got the one thing I don't like about my anime list shit is they don't just put the English titles up, so half of it's pronouncing bizarre shit. But there we go. Dragon Ball Z, it's got a high rating. Log Horizon, liked very much. JoJo, Overlord, first season of One Punch Man. Dororo, I thought was very good. Demon Slayer, also very good. Original Dragon Ball, very good. Yu Yu Hakusho, good stuff. Here you go. Fuck everyone in chat. Orin High School Host Club, great anime. I make no apologies for that. I don't care if that makes me the gayest man on earth. Maybe I need to send Brian some outlines. This is a good anime. Magi, Labyrinth of Magic, first season on that one that I liked. More JoJo, of course. I liked Gate. I know. The Japanese propaganda anime, and I liked it. I believe this is Classroom of the Elite. If you haven't watched that, it's a story about a sociopath, a literal psychopathic motherfucker who manipulates everybody in school, and he's like evil incarnate. And you only know he's evil incarnate because of his internal monologue. He doesn't really outwardly show it. And I like that idea. I like the idea of a psychopath doing horrible shit, and nobody knows it's them. And everybody thinks he's such a great guy, but he's the world's biggest cunt. And that's pretty good. Goblin Slayer, obviously got to have that up here. There's a lot. I don't see if it was in English, I could tell you. Oh, here we go. Let's get to the dropped anime. Let me make a few enemies today. Fuck Naruto, fuck One Piece, and fuck Bleach. I'm not going to watch 500 episodes of this shit. And more specifically, people brought up, oh, what about Naruto? If you get into it, Naruto is, at its core, a story of lust. It's a story of lust between who's going to get Sasuke. Is it going to be Bitchy Girl, or is it going to be Naruto? Really, it's a story of a gay man refusing to be cucked by a cunt. That's the story of Naruto. And at that point, I tuned out. Now, I'm sure these are all good, and people enjoy them, and I'm not shitting on you. If you enjoy them, that's fantastic. I'm not going to watch them. And that's coming from somebody that watched Inuyasha. I don't know how, that's like a disconnect. How does that work? How do you shit on these three, but you've watched Inuyasha? I blame Cartoon Network and having that run on television. Let's talk about Neon Genesis Evangelion. I would rate this thing a 1 if I could. But it would be unfair. Listen, I gave it a 7 because it's competent. Because it's got cool, interesting aspects to it. In fact, you could make this anime a 10. if you got rid of Shinji. The most basic bitch, whiny little fucking pussy that's ever existed in anime. Hearing his voice makes me want to claw my fucking eyes out. Oh, Daddy doesn't love me. I touched Mama's clone. Oh, everything's so hard for Shinji. Why won't anybody let me put my penis in them? Oh, I've got to fight big robots against monsters. Nobody loves Shinji. I fucking hate him. And that's why it got the rating that it got. You want to make it a 10? Remove him. You want to make it a 1? Make it nothing but Shinji. Oh, I see. I see people in chat like Shinji. It's okay to have shit taste. All right? I'm not holding it against you. Some people just have really awful taste in entertainment, and you would be one of them. Oh, let's see what else we got here. High School of the Dead, Dragon Ball Super, I gave a 7. One Punch Man Season 2 is the animation quality was shittier, and I felt the way they did the arc. I know what they're trying to do, how they're fitting it together, but it wasn't on the level of Season 1. It really was not on the level of Season 1. Tenchi Muyo, I gave a 6 because I think that was another Cartoon Network Adult Swim thing. Demon Lord retry is but the bottom of the barrel is GT. All right, listen, they punish children by making them watch GT. Let's be honest here. If you misbehave in certain countries, you're forced to sit in a chair and watch at least 10 episodes of Dragon Ball GT. I know everybody's got their ranking list on how Dragon Ball is. And there's an argument to be made as a first Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, which one's the better one? They're both superb. And Dragon Ball Super is okay. But Dragon Ball GT is pure, unfettered, filthy fucking garbage. Alright? Dragon Ball GT is the sort of thing that would give you, I don't know, some kind of, I don't know, if Dragon Ball GT had sex with your girlfriend, she'd get a yeast infection. If Dragon Ball GT cooked you a meal, you'd get food poisoning. Dragon Ball GT is irredeemable trash. So that's what I have down so far for my anime ratings. I've got, there's not a lot. I've got hundreds more to go through. This process is ridiculously long, but there you go. But let's look at manga, because that's the shit I've been reading. I mean, there's a lot of shit out there, but I've been reading a lot lately. Let me rank this properly. Do the score. I have to say, hands down, I'll just say the English title. So I'm a Spider. So what? Now I know there's a light novel out there, and I know they're doing an anime with the 3D graphics, and people think it looks like shit, and it's even using the look of the spider from the light novel, and people like the manga version better. I get it, but I've read 40 chapters, the 40 chapters of it that exist, and it's so fucking good. I like a slow burn. That's what I'm looking for in this kind of shit. I don't want to read about a character that for issue 1 gets transported to a new world. Issue 2, oh my god, here's the big bad evil. And then by issue 4, they're shooting nuclear bombs out of their asshole. And they've got 400 women sucking their dick. I want some build-up, right? I want a little bit of a slow burn. I want them do a little exploration, run into some trouble. What's the day-to-day shit like? That's why I like Grimgar. It's just a bunch of people get transported to another world, and they've got to learn how to fucking feed themselves. I like that aspect, that idea. Like, yeah, you're in a new world, but you still have to pay rent. You still need to buy food. And so I'm a spider, so what? Great. Nice little bits of humor, likable character. I like how they do the split personality super ability. I don't want to spoil too much because I actually really enjoy it. I'd recommend reading the manga. I don't know, it could turn into shit, but I guarantee you the first 40 chapters are excellent. It's good stuff. Oh, and then we've got this. Whoa, I'm blanking on the name. It's about the little girl that goes into another world. It's an Iseki. She wants to read books, and she gets sent to a world where people, apprenticeship of a bookworm, I think it is. Also very good. This is Ill Boy, Ill Girl. Usually I don't like short ones, but not bad. It's about an attention whore who wants to deal who wants to become famous for having the world's this world's worst disease. It's the disease nobody else has. Then he finds out a little girl has the same disease, and his solution during the entire run is he's going to kill the bitch. Like, that's what he comes up with. He wants to kill her so he can die from the disease and be the famous person. That's the whole plot. It's brilliant. Other stuff like Dungeon Seeker was good. There's a lot of names in here. For some reason, they don't put, and what I've noticed is a lot of the Korean stuff doesn't get added on here. Like the beginning after the end, or Skeleton Soldier couldn't defend his castle, is it? Those were two really good ones that don't get put on. For whatever reason, though, solo leveling is on there. And solo leveling is one of those where you're going to hate the first few chapters, but it's almost like white noise. By the time you get to chapter 50 or 60, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm kind of fucking hooked on this. Akano Grimoire, I think that's Scarlet Grimoire. Only 5 chapters in that, but that was fantastic. It's about psychopaths. This little girl literally rips a guy apart, throws his body in the air, and starts singing and dancing in it. She's just dancing around in his blood as it rains down on her in German because she used to work for the Nazis. So it's a Nazi witch dancing in blood. I don't know why that got dropped, but for whatever reason it seemed to. I believe this is the cooking one. People say like, oh, these isekis with cooking, it's shit. Is the survival mesh the cooking one? Where it's a dude that just arrives in another fucking world and all he cares about is cooking food. He just wants to hang out in the forest and kind of chill. I enjoyed that too. Shadow House was interesting. That was one about, I don't even know how to really explain it. It's all these servants that they work for people that are made of soot, and they have to become their faces. So you're created. You're not even really a human. You're told you're a doll, and you're forced to work with a creature made of entirely soot that looks like your outline. And when you reach a certain age, you have to basically be their presenting face in public. So if they go out and talk to somebody, the soot person doesn't do it, you do it. And if you're out of line, you get your ass beat. So I thought that was an interesting one. Some basic shit in here, but you get the idea. And the worst rated was Pygmalion. I mean, I liked the violence. The violence was great. But, aside from that, I couldn't really do it. And then people were giving me shit for Ani Naru Mano. Listen, it's not the hentai version. Okay? It's the cute, normal one that's not the hentai version that I was reading. And that's the story I'm sticking to. And I like the idea of an eldritch horror being the sister of some boy that just desperately wants attention. I have no regrets. Fuck you, chat. The name I read it under was like the sister of 1,000 young or something like that. But it was pretty good. So there you go. That's my starting point. As for the first manga video, I'll probably do something about maybe solo leveling, Skeleton Soldier, and the beginning after the end, because all 3 of them are really good. They are all long running, and they're entertaining. I don't know how I'll do it. Probably be shit. I've never done a video like that before, but that's YouTube stuff. That's the YouTube stuff. The other stuff, the fun, let's make fun of people stuff, the let's laugh at weird shit stuff, the let's despair at how bad the world stuff, that's all going to be on BitChute. In fact, we're going to talk about a video idea I have for it. Let me read some more super chats here, and then we will jump into that. Give me 1 second, chat, to pull this up. Yeah, if you have recommendations, by all means, send them to me. I am a voracious reader. I love to read shit. I mean, I'll read pretty much anything. Part of the reason I got into manga was I got sick of simulcasts. You watch an anime and you enjoy it and you get hooked into it, and then you've got to wait a week for every new single episode that's going to come out. And I couldn't do it. And when I found out that I could just go read all of it well beyond what's being presented in the anime, I was like, what's the point in waiting? And then after you do that a few times, the next thing you realize, you're reading it nonstop and you're enjoying it. And I'm sure that'll eventually lead down the path to light novels. I don't know. Oh, what's the other anime? Overly Cautious Hero is actually a fairly entertaining anime too. And that's somewhere on the list, but I don't remember what the ranking I gave it was. Probably something higher up. truth be told, even if I don't like it, I can recognize that most of the stuff has good qualities to it. So I don't think I ranked anything below a 5. I have yet to really encounter something that's so fucking awful that I would completely throw it under. I mean, I make jokes about hating Shinji, but I'm not going to say Neon Genesis Evangelion is terrible. So I'm not sure what's out there that's really just pure fucking garbage, but I look forward to the day to finding it. So if you've got recommendations of pure shit, send it my way too. I'll give it a read to learn how bad it is. Aside from the manga stuff, like I said, which is YouTube only, because I need something family friendly that I can talk about that's not going to get me shit kicked. All the fun stuff goes on BitChute, like the Virginia video, like the slip and slide video, and like this video that I'm going to be working on. Which, let me set the stage first. I think that's the way we should do it. I want to talk about women. I know I'm encroaching on Coach Red Pill's territory. I assure you, I'm not going to go full coach. I know. Let me just give you an idea of what I mean by full coach.
Women are like dogs. Now, what do I mean? You have to treat them like you would treat a dog. You ever go up to a dog and you're afraid of the dog and the dog senses it, and the dog gets up and smells the fear coming off of you and starts barking at you and snarling at you and showing its teeth, and it's pissed off at you and doesn't like you. And you're like all insecure and tentative, like, I'm sorry, hi, can I get you a drink? I just want to be friends, please don't bite me. And what's that woman gonna do? She's gonna snarl at you. She's gonna look at you like, ew, creepy, ew, rough. If you're firm and self-confident, they respond. They get relaxed, see? Just like dogs. You go up to a dog, a big, mean Doberman Pinscher, right? Or whatever, some Germanic, what's a Rottweiler, right? Or a pit bull, You go up to that dog, and you say, hey, don't fuck with me, dog. So that's what you have to do. You have to treat women like dogs.
Okay, so we're clear that's not the direction I'm going with this. But I have an angle I want to take, a subject I want to talk about, a group I don't think gets talked about very much. Now, not feminists. Everybody talks about fucking feminists. Not SJWs. My God. We know enough about fucking SJWs. I want to talk about, I'd almost say, a subsection or an outgrowth of two different things. So first we have the thought. Now, this is a random picture I chose. Maybe this lady is a very nice lady. I don't know. But I picked her picture at random, so deal with it. So we have our thought. Our carefree young girl that shows off her body and makes a lot of money online, wants to have fun, wants to go out and party, is probably in her 20s, doesn't really give a shit. The next group we have are Karens. Now, if you're not familiar with what a Karen is a bitch. A Karen drives a soccer mom van. A Karen complains at a restaurant because there's not enough ice cubes or lemon in her fucking water. A Karen, because she didn't get the best customer service at the self-checkout line at a Target, goes to the customer service desk and demands to talk to a manager. A Karen's the kind of bitch that wants to get involved in your business and has a permanent pissed-off scowl on her face. Now, the thought is kind of a pre-family person. They're young, they're having fun, they're doing their thing. And a Karen is a post-family person because they're a soccer mom. They've got a family. They've got children. But what I want to do a video on, and what I want your help and input on, are what I like to call dead eggs. Now, what's a dead egg? And this is where I need your help, helping me to define the parameters of this. And I even have a slight example to give you an idea of kind of what I'm talking about. A dead egg is the bitch that basically took Sex in the City and made it her Bible. She kind of led the thought lifestyle, and she has the pissy bitchiness of a Karen, but she doesn't have a family. This is about basically being infertile. It's going past the point of infertility and not having fresh eggs to reproduce. And let me make this clear too, I'm not talking about, I know there are people out there that have diseases. Maybe you're just naturally infertile. This doesn't apply to you. This applies to people that purposely choose this. That's what a dead egg is. The child-free lifestyle. I don't want kids. I don't want a family. Fuck that. I want my freedom. I want to ride the dick carousel. That's a dead egger. But see, something happens. They reach the point where it's no longer their choice, it's set in stone. They can't have no more babies because there are no more good eggs in them. And that sets in them a vicious hatred, a hatred of life itself, directed at everything and everyone around them. They become the most bitter, angry, annoying fucking women that exist on the face of the earth. They make Karen look like a good dinner date. They make the thought look like a nice behaved young lady. A dead egger hates children. A dead egger hates public shows of affection. They subsist and exist in some kind of alternate self-inflicted dimension of being part cat lady, part why not, part massive, nonstop menopausal bitch, and it never ends. And so I'd like to do a video focusing on that. I found some communities where there are quite a few dead eggers. And so I was thinking, can I find a video that kind of highlights that a little bit? To give you an idea of just kind of what they sound like. Now, this might not be an exact example of one, but I think it gives you a bit of an idea of it. So let me put this video up. It's of a lady that basically throws a shit fit because people are being affectionate in public. And remember, a dead egger, there's no chance of having children ever again. So any shows of affection just remind them that they're a barren husk of a human being. And fills them with the rage of 1,000 suns.
Don't do it, because it'll just sit around more.
Then leave. Why are you here? You have your food.
Excuse me, I have a right to be here. This is a place where you eat, not where you make out and spoon.
He just told you.
We are waiting for you to finish up, so we're chatting.
Go make out outside.
You're a heinous.
Okay, so what do we see already? Here would be a hypothetical, or maybe a case study kind of a dead egger. She is infuriated. Okay, first she's fat, and of course a lot of dead eggers are going to be fat because what's the point? Nobody's going to ever fuck them, and if they do fuck them, they're never having children. So she's given up on femininity. So here our dead egger is, getting ready to gorge herself at the trough of whatever restaurant this is. And here's a young couple being affectionate in line, and it sends her into a fucking rage. All right? It's like a rutting male in the forest. She's turned into an animal at this point. She's locked eyes. Look at this. She's looking directly at them, and the anger is taking over.
This person.
You're a prostitute.
Cool.
I'm not getting paid.
How can you make out while here in front of everyone like a slut while we're trying to eat? There are people here.
Okay.
Do you have any manners?
Can you just finish up your transaction? We'll order and we can
Why
both
don't you
move on.
leave, bitch?
Oh my god. You're really escalating
Why
this.
don't you leave?
I would just like to order
Well, you
and then
shouldn't.
we'll
You
leave.
shouldn't be here. You're a slut. Go get a hotel room and fuck somewhere else.
Oh my
This is not a place for this.
Can't wait till this hits YouTube.
I can't wait to report you to the police. You can.
I'm going to report you to the police because you have living eggs inside of you. You are capable of a viable birth. There is a man that wants to put his penis inside of you. I am calling the police, filled with hatred.
Not be
Please.
doing prostitution
Go ahead.
in
Hey,
public.
go find the police right now.
This is a public place. This is where people
No, it's not.
eat.
This is a private place,
This
actually.
is public.
No, this is a private establishment actually.
This is we're in the public.
This is privately owned.
Look, if you're making out in front of people and you're making people uncomfortable.
Can we order
You're
this?
making me uncomfortable with your verbal.
Also, do you notice they're saying you're making people uncomfortable? Just all that's here is the guy working behind the counter, the couple, and the dead egger.
Stop making out in front of us.
That's all good.
Who is us?
Everyone that's
can I
here.
have a
That's
force?
You look like
inappropriate.
the only person who's uncomfortable with me having my arm around my
Lady,
boyfriend.
you're making out while we're trying to order.
Step back.
Excuse me?
Step the
Why don't-
fuck back.
Excuse. Do not
Step
tell
the
me to.
fuck back.
Excuse
Step
me.
the fuck back.
Excuse me. Why don't you?
Hey, listen, bitch. Don't make me punch you in your rotten ovaries. All right, you'll get sepsis. Those dead things inside of you, they can't produce life. That infection will spread. One gut punch, one falcon punch from me if you get too close to my woman. I'm going to send you to the hospital.
Can you call the cops?
Back.
Can you call the cops?
Can you call the cops on him?
I'm getting all this on video. So we'll see who's harassing who later.
You're fucking your girlfriend in a public restaurant acting like a prostitute. You need to leave. You told me to leave while I'm in my order while you're making out with that slut.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're such an airhead. You're so dumb. You're sexually harassing me.
You're reminding me of my bad life decisions. I am the face of a dead egger. I decided in my 20s that I just wanted to have fun. I decided that family didn't matter, that men would come at my beck and call. I lived the life of the lady who controlled the orbiters. I made the nice guys wait on me hand and foot, and I rode Chad's cock. And now here I am, after taking 38 morning after pills, after scrambling through abortion the 22 babies I could have given birth to. An empty husk with a dead, sloughing off uterus, full of dead eggs and bitter, seething hatred.
You and that slut.
Well, you are harboring a lot of shit, and you're just letting it all out. So
You know
go ahead.
what?
Go ahead. This is cathartic
I
for
don't
you.
want to watch you make out with that person while I'm trying to order
Good.
food.
There's the door right there. Go ahead.
You've already ordered your food.
Yep.
I want my money back. I want my money back. I want a refund. Excuse me, I just spent $20. I want a refund.
Yeah, she wants a refund.
Who are you talking to?
Talking to a manager, and I don't appreciate you raising your voice at me.
I want a refund right now, and I'm reporting you to your manager.
He's already talking to his manager.
And I want to talk to the manager. So you talk to me.
I'll give you the tape. I'll give you the tape.
I
So-
can call the manager and report you, and you can be fired.
So now she's filled with such bitter hatred over the fact that there's a loving couple embracing each other publicly because they have a future family life together, that she's looking for anybody and anything to lash out against. And she's chosen to go after the poor fucking guy making, what, $3 an hour slinging burritos or whatever restaurant they're in? And she wants to get him fired and demanding a refund because some dude and his girlfriend are standing in line.
For allowing this. I want my money back. Go to hell, prick. Who the fuck do you think you are? Sexually harassing me, making out with that bitch while I'm trying to order? He was having sex with her at the stand when I was trying to order. They were making out.
It was pretty good. The sex was pretty good.
Well, go get a room if you want to fuck the whore. I mean, I don't want to watch it. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. You making out with that ugly bitch, it is so nasty. Do you know how much I want to puke on both of you? You are the ugliest.
That's a complete lie. A lady this fat would never give up precious food by vomiting it up. She savors that meal too much to ever let it go. Don't believe her bullshit.
Bitch I've ever seen. You look like a little boy. And for me to actually watch you have sex in public is disgusting. In front of my food, it makes me want to vomit then. For the love of God. I'm gonna vomit because you are so damn nasty to make out while I'm ordering food. It's so disgusting.
Okay, I'm sorry that you have an
You're
issue
a
with that.
prostitute.
You're a terribly rude person.
Oh, fuck! You're rude for making out in front of everyone, trying to slobber. You're trying to over-sexualize yourself and be like, I'm the shit. Look, my boyfriend's making out with me. Do you know how uncomfortable and rude you are? You are such a slut. You're a dumb bitch. Go fuck yourself. You are such a whore. You are such an asshole, both of you. Both of you are
Bye.
assholes.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye now.
You're stalking me. Do you know?
Oh, the seething hatred. She's just waddling around in rage. I thought she wanted a refund. Why is she walking out with the food? I told you, Tubby couldn't give it up. I'm not, this food's coming with me. I know I said I wanted a refund, but I need to fill my stomach with something. I need to fill myself with something to fill the void of no eggs.
I'm gonna press sexual harassment
Go for it. Please.
You are harassing me at this very moment.
Let's do it.
Videotaping me.
Yep.
Can you? I'm American. I'm from California.
Oh, yes.
You know what? Go back.
Okay. So do you get the gist of it? Do you understand the parameters of what I'm saying? I'm trying to pound it out. I'm trying to get a vague idea of where to go with this. Now, Child Free, the subreddit, is obviously a great place to start. There are quite a few videos online too of women freaking the fuck out over public displays of affection. News articles talking about women regretting having career choices over children. Lots of sad, oops, I fucked up stories. So that's probably going to be the next BitChute video. I gotta hammer out those details, like those hammer toes that Hoven bitch had showed off with those flip flops that are screaming for life. Please get her weight off of me. But that's the general idea I'm going with. I like it. I think there's potential there. I think we really need to address the dead egg question and talk about the dead egg phenomena that's currently taking place all over the world. Now, you tell me, chat, what do you think? You don't get it? No. Somebody said in chat. Well, I'll try to explain it one last time. A dead egger is a woman that by choice, from the ages of 18 up until 30, decided they wanted just to fuck around and have fun and be a thought and didn't think family mattered and didn't give a shit about it. But once they reach that point where they don't have viable eggs, where they can't have offspring, they suddenly regret and hate their choice. And that seething anger because of it makes them lash out at anybody and everybody around them, especially couples that are younger or couples that have families. This encompasses groups like Child Free, encompasses news articles about powerful female CEOs regretting this. I think it'll be fun. But that's the gist of where I'm going with it. Maybe the video will make it a little bit more understandable. Kissing is literally having sex. Yes, she said that. She said they were fucking in the restaurant. Did you catch the bit where she said, "How dare you have sex in front of my food?" How dare you? This salad is innocent. This is an innocent salad. How dare you have sex in front of it? What are you thinking? So that's what's coming up, if you were wondering what the next video will be. Probably in a day or two. I'll have a Dead Egger video up. And then a few days after that, I will have the first manga video up on YouTube. And then get around to the transtastic and furry stuff. I'm just hitting the shit that I find entertaining at the moment. And we'll work our way from there. Protect the food, chat? Yes. The innocent salad, how dare you? How dare you? Thank you all for coming out. Like I said, the next video, the Dead Egger one's hopefully in a day or two. I'll have the first manga thing up on YouTube in probably a week. I've got to do some work and figure out how I'm going to work that format. I'm not 100% certain yet. I've got a stream eventually that I will get rescheduled, David Stay, and we'll do that on the aliens. I hope that you all have a good holiday. I am, honest to God, planning on doing a Lonely Fucks Christmas stream. So if you are a lonely fuck that has no friends or family, and you want to eat that TV dinner and not cry yourself in your whiskey, feel free to tune in. I have a nice little fireplace video playing, have some Christmas music in the background, and we can all chat. The chat can all interact as we eat our Hungry Man meals together and fight off one more year of depression.